Have you experienced the Mandela Effect? In this episode, we will go over a variety of Mandela effects being discussed online. I understand some people may know all the Mandela effects, but they may be new to other viewers. I do my best to research new information and at least entertain people who may already know the ones mentioned. Kiss released their first album in 1974, and in the following year they would release Kiss Alive, making them superstars.
This is Kiss, each sold separately, and you can put them in any crazy pose you want.
Having action figures made and doing a deal with Marvel to make a comic book with every member's blood inside the ink.
And each of the four members of Kiss would take a pin and just prick their finger and get a few drops of blood to come out and drop those drops of blood into the ink, into the red ink.
Kiss is going to have its own comic book soon, featuring the four strangely attired and hairy fellows to be printed by Arcata Graphics. Printed in, if you believe everything you're told, in real Kiss blood.
The next year, the band would star in a made-for-TV movie titled Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. This is where we can discuss the first Mandela effect having to do with each member's nickname.
Okay, I was sitting with my roommate, and we got to talking too about Kiss, and then we got some weird conflicting memories about stuff. When we Googled it, things had changed as thus: Gene Simmons, the Demon; Ace Frehley, Spaceman; Paul Stanley, the Star Child; Peter Criss, the Cat. But what I'm remembering, and I've been listening to Kiss since the early 90s, and I've had Alice 1 through 3, Destroyer, and Psycho Circus. This is what I remember: Gene Simmons, the Demon; Ace Frehley, the Star Child; Paul Stanley, the Spaceman; Peter Criss, the Cat. Am I imagining things, or are any of you seeing the same change?
Space Ace was the nickname for Ace Frehley, and why all of his songs had a space or science theme. Paul Stanley is Star Child, well, because he has a huge star on his face, and it is in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park where Gene Simmons yells, "Star Child!" And Paul Stanley looks at this woman and does his star power on her.
You're looking for someone, but it's not Kiss.
Yes, Kiss felt right at home in comic books and in pop culture, bringing us to the next Mandela effect about them and Scooby-Doo.
Me and my girlfriend were recently watching HBO Max when I saw the Scooby-Doo Kiss episode on there and noticed it was made in 2015. It looked extremely unfamiliar. I then questioned if there was an older one, since I swear I remember watching one that was more made in early 2010s. Is this a case of false memory or Mandela effect?
Do you recall the Scooby-Doo Kiss movie being from an earlier date or an earlier Kiss cartoon? The show had crossovers like the Batman and Robin episode or Dick Van Dyke. What inspired this Family Guy bit about Kiss in a cartoon Christmas special if there was not an older animated series or episode already created? But of course, as always, let me know what you think down in the comments below.
My mommy made Dino nuggies. Whoa, who put that there? I could got her.
When it comes to chicken nuggets and a midday snack, would you rather have a weird shaped rock or a dinosaur?
Dude, look into this one I discovered. Dino Nuggies is now Dino Buddies.
When looking for any residue, I found some chicken nuggets, dino nuggets, fun nuggets, and Dino Buddies. I was able to find merchandise labeled as Dino Nuggies, stickers and shirts, or the usual stuff I find. There was also a song, some shorts, and a card about Dino Nuggies being at McDonald's. But when it comes to the product Dino Nuggies, you will only find Dino Buddies.
Beavis and Butt-Head are no laughing matter to many people, and as Channel 3's Steve Keeley reports, the cable channel airing the show has listened to all those who aired complaints about the show.
In the year 1991, MTV would air a show unlike any other I had seen. An entire decade before Adult Swim, Liquid Television was an anthology program airing live-action, stop-motion, and animation classics like the Eon Flux shorts, The Specialist, and Beavis and Butt-Head. When it comes to the spelling of Butt-Head, people recall it not having a hyphen. I was able to find this article where it was spelled without one, but I was also able to find articles where it was spelled with one, as well as comics, the film, and the series on MTV. I then went back to Liquid Television to see how it was spelled when it originally aired. I was able to find YouTube videos labeled without the hyphen, one of them being the YouTube channel of MTV UK.
Sometimes putting a hyphen in and sometimes not isn't a Mandela effect. So Kit Kat losing a hyphen and Spider-Man gaining a hyphen isn't an issue? No. I would be in high favor of making it a sub-rule that people can't post their own Mandela Effect videos here to try and get views.
One of the most difficult games I have played in my entire life is the Beavis and Butt-Head game. The next Mandela Effect has to do with the final stage.
So I imagined it may just be me, but I had to ask. I had been thinking about the old Beavis and Butt-Head game for Sega Genesis. I used to play with my brother on Sega Channel, so I got a ROM copy and I went to play it, and I just had a mental slap. I swear I remember the band they were going to see was Pearl Jam. I remember as a kid having no idea what that was and thinking the name was funny. It's to the point when I hear the name Pearl Jam, I think of the game. The only problem is when I loaded it up, they are going to GWAR. I double checked it, maybe there was a different version, but seems it's always GWAR?
I remember GWAR because they are one of my favorite bands, but I also have only played the Super NES version of the game.
We're there, dude.
It has always been GWAR. I played it a ton back when it came out and randomly pop it back in just to screw around. B&B have never really been into Pearl Jam, and they were never even an integral part of the show either, like GWAR, Metallica, AC/DC, etc.
I've seen every season, probably more than anyone on the planet.
Yup, it's GWAR.
Wow, but doesn't one of them have Pearl Jam on his shirt? Or I think there might have been Pearl Jam posters in the back of one of the levels.
The next Mandela Effect has us looking at their wardrobe and who wore what shirt.
I could have sworn it was Butt-Head who wore the Metallica shirt, but I see now it's Beavis?
Butt-Head was a hard rock guy. He wore AC/DC. Beavis was very heavy metal. He had Metallica. Those characteristics were reflected in several of the video commentaries.
Head AC/DC and Beavis Metallica. Beavis always had the light blue shirt on. Can't imagine Butt-Head in that shirt. It wouldn't look right.
BHACDC. B Metallica.
When doing research for this one, I was going to prove Butt-Head wore an AC/DC shirt by showing him dressed as Angus Young doing the duck walk, and I could not find one. I found him dressed as Brian Johnson and Beavis dressed as Angus Young. I remember something much like the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Big Gun music video, but I could not find anything. So please let me know if you remember Butt-Head being in a music video or trading card or any art of any kind, featuring him dressed as Angus Young doing the duck walk.
That's what I call action.
The next Mandela Effect has to do with that wonderful black sunshine, Wednesday Addams.
Is Jenna Ortega playing Wednesday Addams? I actually am.
The first one having to do with the dance scene from the show and what music played. People recall it being Lady Gaga, but it is the track Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps. And just the kind of music Tim Burton would make skeletons play while he bangs his girlfriend inside a coffin. Have you seen his ex's face? She has seen things. This one is really a big nothing burger, and the reason people think it is Lady Gaga is because it was a trend on TikTok. Or in other words, a marketing ploy to get the show trending by Netflix.
Netflix, they were telling me, oh, you know, Jenna, this is gonna be a thing on TikTok, and I thought, yeah, okay. And then they were right.
The next one has us focusing on her hairstyle. Many people recall her always having bangs, but now she does not. When looking at the television show and films, Wednesday does not have bangs, even in the cartoon and CGI movie. It is only in the Tim Burton series she has them. The final Mandela effect dealing with Wednesday has to do with her outfit in the 1990 movies, The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Many people recall her dress being all black. But in this reality, it now has white patterns all over it. Making things stranger, the 90s cartoon, her dress is blue. It also seems that maybe this dress was to pay homage to the films. But of course, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Also, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. I make these videos by myself and they take a lot of time, so I do appreciate you watching. And if you're not yet subscribed, then please hang out here more often by clicking that red subscribe button for future content. The final Mandela effect of this episode has us looking at the Adult Swim show Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And to go over this one, I have a special guest speaker, a good friend of mine, Ryan, who has done food challenges, shots and spots, a dramatic reading of Pokemon and Fedmeister's text messages, and of course NBKIA reactions and movie reviews. All of this great content can be found on this channel. I thought it would be fun to have him read The Last Mandela Effect because he does one heck of a meatwad impression.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. This Mandela Effect has a lot of people freaked out because they remember the title of the show being Aqua Teen Hunger Force and not Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Especially because we are a team and Frylock looks like he's super old, like 30 or something, and definitely not a teenager. Plus, it would make more sense in the opening song and rhyme scheme of team rhyming with scream. Let me know what you think about the dang old thing with your Mandela having ass dang dong dang.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to send the like button to an alternate universe and let me know down below if any of these Mandela effects made you question your reality. And could we be living in a simulation?
My mommy made Dino nuggets.
This Mandela Effect has a lot of people freaked out.
That was one of the scenes that I stay awake at night thinking about because I thought there was so much that I should have done and could have done. So the fact that anybody has shown any bit of appreciation or have even tried it themselves, it's not fathomable to me.